It's the one that makes you want to stay, not makes you want to run. That's what they say. That's what they've said from day one. Well, it'll happen when you're not looking, never knowing where it might come from. Well, I met my better half one night at the bar. Sitting on my stool, I noticed from afar that she was looking. She was looking at me, yes she was. So I gathered up my courage, walked to table number 3. Oh man, she was beautiful, glistened in the light. Put my hand around her, and it felt just right. So I pulled her closer. Yeah, I pulled her closer to me. And someone yelled, "She's mine!" I thought, now that just can't be. Well, he walked on up behind us, grabbed her by the neck.
Right, watch out. Okay, been a long day today, as you can see on the clock. 6:30 at night now. Started at 7 o'clock this morning. Had lots of stuff to do today as well as this, but I've got the tyres fitted now. Now this was the original front tyre. It is a 2017 tyre. It's literally 2016, wasn't it? 7/16, July 16. So this tyre is almost new. There's no wear on it actually whatsoever. So I'm going to use it again. It's absolutely fine. And I've matched it, as you saw maybe in the last bit of the video, with a brand new Pilot Power 2. This is a lovely tyre, dual compound. Now I know there's a lot of tyre snobbery out there, a lot of you have your own choice, but this is what I've chosen for the Street Fighter project. It's a 190 as opposed to what the 180 was on it, so I had to get a new one because it was simply the wrong size, and I've matched it to the front one, which is young enough to keep. So all I'm going to do now, because it's been a very long day, is I'm going to put the bearings in the wheels. That's all. I can't do anything else. I also want to be able to put the discs on and the sprocket onto the carrier, and at the same time I want to put the I want to balance the wheels as well myself, and I want to make that a standalone video. Wheel balancing is an interesting process. It's very easy to do at home. I've done it a long time ago on a spoked wheel. I want to show you this time doing it on a regular alloy wheel with stick-on weights. They're easy enough to buy. I've got matching black weights for this, and I'm going to do that myself. So that'll be a separate video, meaning that all I got to do for now is just put the bearings in. So this one, instead of using the slide hammer, this is the blind bearing puller set that I used the last time. Instead of using this, the slide hammer, spin that around like that, that's the right way around. Instead of using this to hammer the bearing out, I'm actually going to use this part of the set today, which is the bridge puller, and this will pull the bearings out of the wheel much more smoothly and calmly without all the slamming and hammering, and then press them in the same way that I did before, using a homemade press, just with some threaded bar and the big old discs. So let's get stuck into that without too much more chat. Alright, pick the old seal out. Now always check, because some wheels do and some wheels don't, and this one does. You look around there, there's a little circlip that holds the wheel bearing in place. So grab your circlip pliers, just take that out of the way first. Now, for what it's worth, if I'm promoting, or I don't know, for want of a better phrase, dare I say it, showing tools that can help you, I want to just show you these. And it is a big fear. Someone mentioned it the last time I pulled a big circlip out, and that was circlip pliers. These particular ones got from Wiha, and they are, you look at the tips, if you can see them, really close. The tips there have got a little notch in rather than just a standard peg, and that notch, when it's in the hole there and you put them in, and normally regular circlip pliers, if you put them in and you squeeze that, there's a great chance that that thing will just ping off, because you've got two straight pegs at an angle, and as you bring them in, the circlip can just twang off out the way in your face. But those little notches, if I pull that in, you cannot pull the circlip off. The little notches in the tips hook into the circlip. So if you want something real safe like that, the Wiha ones work. Little notched ends on circlip pliers, worth investing in. Right, moving along. Let's get the bearing out. Now, what I'm going to use for this, as I said in the last one, is this. This is a bridge puller, called a bridge puller for kind of obvious reasons. It's like a little bridge, and it pulls the bearing out gently without the use of a slide hammer. But it does press here on the wheel rim, so I'm going to use the old disc that's not going to get put back on the bike. This is going to become a sculpture for the garden. So that'll go on there, just giving me something to bear against, because this is a lot better at taking the beast in. If I'm going to put all that pressure on that casting, I'd rather it was spread on that. You can do all sorts of things, put a bit of wood there, whatever you like. Now, that's how it basically works. It sits over the top like a little bridge, and it just sucks the bearing out that way. A little bit safer and a lot nicer than hammering it out with a slide hammer. So what you need to do is take the standard die, the biggest die you can get. I said that in the last video. This is a 25mm one. That's a 25mm bearing, so it's the exact same size. What I'm going to do is push it in. It's actually good, oops, if it fits like that, nice and tight. Now you'll feel it click. There it is. I'll show you on one of the other ones. On these little dies, you've got this little sharp lip edge on the bottom, and that's all it takes for that to just pop the other side of the bearing and snap into place and allow this flat edge to snap out and touch the inside all the way around of the bearing. Then you spread the bearing. So I'm going to take the next thing, which is this little spreader. Now you see how these work. Basically you've got 4 split sides, split like a Brussels sprout, and you screw that in there. As you screw that taper all the way in, it spreads those ends out, and as it spreads them, they grip the inside of the bearing. So you just screw that in there, all the way down in. Grab hold of it with a couple of spanners, one to hold it still, one to screw it in. Preferably the right sizes out. There we go, and it doesn't need much, just nip it. There we go, done, that's all it needs. Now that will nip in there, it's moving with the bearing. It's gripping a little bit on the tube. There's that tube inside there, but don't worry about that. That's got hold of the bearing nice and solid. Pop the bridge over the top, and then screw the thread. This is the adjuster nut. You take that all the way out to the top. Take all the slack out of that, right up to the top. Then you want all that thread down inside the tool for grippage. I think it's all the way down. It's a universal set, this, so if you need it, things like this little spacer here, it comes with a bigger one if you need a bigger spacer because the bearing's higher up, so it's great. Being a universal set, it does any vehicle you like. There we are. Now, that little bridge, just going to get hold of that. Just loosen off the little legs and move the legs to a nice, stable position where they're equal distance from the actual bearing, so they're equal distance, so it's not pulling one-sided. There we are, and just nip them up where they are. Just nip them, don't lean on it. There we go. And screw that down in. Now as you screw that down in, you're screwing it down inside the tool itself. But that's not lifting it out. That's turning this part, which will lift it. So you need just a ring spanner for that. And then as you turn the ring spanner inwards clockwise, it will push down on this thread, lifting the whole thing out. There it is, little crack as it lets go. That's the bearing just juddering out of its seat. There we are. We have liftoff, and that comes out all attached. That's it. I think you'll find or agree that that is a lot more civilized way to pull a bearing out than a slide hammer and all that banging and slamming. Right, okay, take that off, let's do the other side. And it's got the side that sits up against the shoulder, so you can press that all the way in. Right, there we go. Done, penny pit stop.
Hey.
There we are. Now, if you're going to buy yourself a blind bearing puller set, wherever from, you will use it, I guarantee. I've done 5 bearings there in about 3 hours and taking time to make a really nice job of it. And as you saw, that little bridge puller part of the set meant there was absolutely no hammering, banging or nothing whatsoever. If you've got something like magnesium wheels, they are more brittle than aluminium wheels. If you've got spoke rims and you've got perhaps ancient rims that are from an old classic bike, then that's the kind of thing that you would use, a blind bearing puller with a bridge attachment rather than hammering them out. It's just to be gentler on the job. So that is a great little kit. If you want one of those, they're available from Wemoto. I'll put a link underneath, and they're about £100 off at the moment. So they're a good deal. Get yourself one if you want. You definitely will use them over the years. It's one of those tools that goes up in your cupboard and you'll pull it out again and again. Just finally, in the kit, obviously I've got to the point now where the wheels themselves are ready to go in. I've still got to put the discs on and the cush drive in. I'm going to put the new cush drive rubbers in. I want to sweat those in. I want to heat them up in boiling water so they get nice and soft, and then put some rubber lube on them and slide them in nicely so they go into position in there. I want to clean everything else up as well because greasy armpits all over it. And when that job's done, then I can put the discs on, and then I'm going to balance the wheels. I'm going to balance these myself because I wanted to wait until the discs were on. I think one of you guys said that quite rightly. So I've got plenty of weights and I'm going to make a video of that. Balancing your own wheels is a piece of cake. You need 2 axle stands and a bar. I'll show you how to do it so it saves you a little bit of time and effort going to a shop to have it done. Finally, after that, there is just one more seal in this kit. This kit came, it's a Slinky Glide kit. I got it from Wemoto. That's the rear set, and I got the front one as well. There's one left over for the front, a big one, and that goes in. If you ever do this on your ZX7, it goes in there in the Speedo drive. You get a new seal for the Speedo drive as well, which is quite nice. I like that. It's a little bit of thought, a little bit of up here for that, rather than just leaving it to trust, because that stops all the crap getting in the Speedo drive and grit and blocking it up and then snapping your cable. Coming also to that, I've got some cool stuff on new cables, cable cores, all the sort of stuff that Wemoto do. So there we are. I think that's it, don't you, Ben?
I reckon.
It is a long, long day. I wish I could put the discs on and balance and do all that. Now that's going to be what for the next one. It is now 9:15 at night. We've been here since 6 o'clock, 3 hours on this and 2 or 3 hours out during the day. It's been a very, very long day, and we need some dinner, don't we, babe? There we go. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, drop them underneath in the comments box and I'll be happy to answer. All the links under there as well. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. See you next time.
What you think you're doing to my girl? And just like Elvis in his prime, my top lip began to curl. Well, kicked that dude right in the butt, fell to the floor. Picked him up by his hands and I threw him out the doors. I was happy, I was happy as could be.